Welcome to another Middle-earth lore video. So a lot of you guys seem to like my last Middle-earth lore video, so I thought it'd be fun to make another one, and I was considering what to make the video on when I thought about an idea I had quite a while ago. So pretty much I was watching the Lord of the Rings films, as I watch the extended editions at least once a year as I just love the films, and I remember a scene with Shelob, which is, as I'm sure most of you will know on a basic level, just a giant spider. So I thought I'd look more into it, and I've decided to make today's video, so I hope you all enjoy anyway. Shelob the Great Spider was the greatest daughter of the powerful being known as Ungoliant. Her early life is a complete mystery, but it is generally assumed that she was born in the Mountains of Terror, or as they are also known, Ered Gorgoroth, and that she used to feast on her own children. It is also known that after she fled from Belerind, she created her dark lair in the Mountains of Shadow, or as they are also known, Ethel Duath. And this lair was located near Cirith Ungol, and this was in the hidden passages above Minas Morgul. In this new home, Shelob spent hundreds of years creating a large network of webs in these caves, hoping to tap into all manner of creatures that she could eventually feed on. This became her primary way of feeding, but she has also been known to venture from her home short distances if she detects a particularly good meal. Shelob has two names that have been used to reference her, these names being the Shadow Spider and her ladyship. When Shelob kills her victims, she prefers to first immobilize her prey with her paralyzing sting and then feed on her victims in her own time. She has also been known to simply crush her prey to death just with her own weight. It is even said that she sometimes keeps her prey alive for days, just to toy with them and also eat in her own time. Shelob in the books is described as only serving herself. She has also been described as having grown fat on the blood of both men and elves, and any other creature, for all living things that enter her lair are her food. Anyway, onto this spider in the Third Age. In the Third Age, this primordial spider still remained in the Mountains of Shadow. This begs the question, was Sauron aware of her, considering that he had control of the area where she was? The answer to that question is yes, he was well aware of her. Sauron allowed Shelob to remain in the passages for a few reasons, the most important being that she made a fairly effective guard for those passages. It was also said that Sauron had a soft spot for Shelob, and even sometimes referred to her as his cat. For fun, Sauron would sometimes even toss her his prisoners or unhelpful servants. Shelob was also known to eat the orcs that manned the tower of Cirith Ungol, which was near the passages. This caused the orcs to repeatedly try and barricade her lair with stones, which, as I'm sure you've all guessed, didn't really work. Shelob was pretty good at killing, and reports of her massacres would eventually reach Sauron in Barad-dûr. This amused Sauron, to the point where even though she was eating his soldiers alive, he kept her alive. I suppose she was also a better guard than Sauron's orcs anyway. Now, another question you may be asking is how did Gollum know of this passage? Because as I'm sure you remember, if you've read the books or watched the films, Gollum brought Frodo and Sam to these passages on their way to Mordor. Well, the reason Gollum knew of these passages is because he has actually been to these passages and met Shelob before. To elaborate, after Gollum was set free, and Gollum was set free to act as, I suppose you could say, kind of an unknowing sniffer hound to find the ring, he accidentally entered her lair. Shelob obviously caught him pretty much straight away, but instead of eating him, she let him go, as Gollum promised to bring her better meals than himself. The orcs that manned the tower of Cirith Ungol had even seen Gollum on many occasions, but assumed that he was simply too thin for Shelob to even bother eating. Anyway, moving on to the events with her in Lord of the Rings, Gollum tried to fulfill his promise to Shelob by bringing her the two hobbits Frodo and Sam. Gollum's basic plan was to have Sam and Frodo eaten, and then he would retrieve the one ring from Frodo's corpse. Anyway, the two hobbits arrived in Shelob's lair to be welcomed by Shelob's webs. Luckily, Frodo's sword was of elven make, and he was able to slice through her webs with ease. They used the Vial of Galadriel and defended against her first attack. The reason this vial worked so effectively against Shelob is because Shelob had become so adjusted to her dark environment, seeing this bright light was almost unbearable for her. She later attacked the hobbits again as they reached the other side of her passage. She poisoned the hobbit Frodo, but was unable to defeat the other hobbit, Sam. In a show of bravery, Sam assaulted the primordial spider using Frodo's sword. Sting. Sam managed to stab one of Shelob's eyes and also injure her leg. On top of that, he inflicted an almost killing wound, piercing her belly. But it is worth noting that Shelob did this wound herself, as she missed when trying to stab Sam with her stinger, but I'm going to count it as something Sam caused anyway. The Hobbit Sam proved to be the opponent that wounded her worse than any other. After this battle, it is never stated what happens to Shelob. In fact, it is said that her fate will never be known to the people of Middle-earth. The last we hear of her is when Sam puts on the One Ring, as his hearing is greatly improved by its power, so he is able to hear her bubbling in misery far away. Finally, as said before, Shelob's fate is unknown, but her children's is. I mentioned before about how Shelob ate her young, but as some of you may know, some of these children managed to escape, eventually producing offspring of their own. A lot of these spiders' offspring was known to live in Mirkwood. I actually just want to add a small bit of trivia for you guys surrounding how Tolkien came up with this creature's name. The name Shelob comes from when you combine the words she and lob. The she part is obvious, but the lob part is not so obvious. In archaic English, lob is the word for spider, so Shelob's name effectively means she-spider. For one final point that I feel as if I just should mention, is that although it is not canon to the books or films, Shelob does appear in the Shadow of War Middle-earth game. She can be seen in human form, and this is in the Wraith world. She also possesses the Ring of Celebrimbor for a while, and gives the protagonist, Talion, visions of what will happen to Minas Ithil, which, as I'm sure you'll know, later became Minas Morgul. The game also implies that instead of being like Sauron's cat, she was once instead his lover, at least while he was posing as Anatar. In the mobile version of Shadow of War, she is also classed as a Maya, which, if you've looked into the lore of Middle-earth, makes little sense, because as said before, she is a daughter of Ungoliant. One thing I'd just like to mention is that I said before that Shelob is supposed to be quite powerful, and she is, she's just not really presented that way, and I suppose she's not quite at the full power that she used to be. But just to give you an idea, her parent, Ungoliant, actually had an alliance with Morgoth. And if you don't know who Morgoth is, he is pretty much, let's just say, Sauron's boss. So that's just an idea of what sort of level Shelob is. Anyway guys, I hope you've all enjoyed today's video. This has been quite fun. I don't do a lot of Middle-earth lore videos, and I always think it's fun when I get to do something like this. The last video, a lot of you guys were saying I really want you to do more of this, and I was planning to anyway, I just honestly couldn't think of anything, so I thought, you know what, this seems like a fun video, so I decided to make today's video. If you guys want to see more Middle-earth lore videos, be sure to like this video, as it will let me know that you actually enjoy these sort of videos and you want to see more. So thank you to every single one of you that likes the video. That is very, very kind of you, and it honestly helps me out. Also, to anyone that wants to subscribe, I just want to say thank you all so much, and to anyone that has subscribed, I do Middle-earth lore videos, Witcher lore videos, Elder Scrolls lore videos. The most frequent one is definitely Witcher lore videos, but I have Elder Scrolls or Middle-earth sort of alternating, it depends. So if you don't want to miss those sort of videos, be sure to subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter. I put updates on there. I'm sure you all know that. It's pretty much just Twitter. I post stuff on there like pictures, anything else. I was actually thinking of making something like an Instagram. I'm not sure if I will though. I just thought because it's a pretty convenient way to put pictures on, as Twitter is not really the best for that. But honestly, I'll see what you guys think. And when I say pictures, I mean like cool stuff. Like say if I go to a cool place that has cool stuff I can show you. I don't know. Say if I don't know, theoretically went to Poland or somewhere like that and did a Witcher thing. That might be quite fun and probably an easy platform to put it on. And also be sure to follow me on Twitch. I'll do some more games on there soon. I'm sure all of you know what Twitch is. It's pretty much just you play video games. I have a Witcher series on this channel, so it's pretty similar to that, just different games and less cuts, I guess. Even though I don't cut much on The Witcher, to be fair. Also, be sure to join the Discord and Reddit. I'm sure you know what a Reddit is. You basically just put pictures, whatever else on. It's kind of cool. It's nice. You guys can chat on there. I look on there every other day, so, you know, I just see if anyone's posted anything. And also the Discord, you can chat to other people, post stuff. I think we, like, added an RP thing recently because people kept on asking me, and I thought, you know what, why not? So if you want to do anything like that, be sure to join. It's in the description. Finally, guys, as always, a big thank you to the Patreon pledges. You guys are amazing. It's very, very kind what you do. I just want to say thank you to every single one of you that donates to me on Patreon, as it really just helped me out so much. So thank you all so much. You're all amazing. Anyway, guys, I hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have an awesome rest of the week.